To gain the respect of the Mexican team.
Now, the last time we...
Gee, well, what do you have there?
Just a little something to help us get through the night.
Well, cool. Yeah. Well, now we go see Spider-Virus. It's April the 27th, as you can see on your TV screen.
Nashville was so different in the 90s versus now. There was not a lot of places to go if you liked punk or rock or heavy metal at that time. It was more country. So places like Lucy's Record Shop, the Hayes House, places like that, that was a big deal for us. It was a lot of fun.
Spider-Virus kicks goddamn fucking motherfucking ass!
Spider-Virus! Get up! Hey, anyone's got any DVDs for us? Hey, please give them. Because we can all do something.
Are we handing out the tray tonight?
I'll hand out the papers if anyone's got any feelings. What the hell?
Hey, my name's Eric, and I'm the bass player.
My name is Dan. I hold the camera.
How are you, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Good to see you, man. Sounded great tonight. Can I blow in the whistle?
Yeah, man.
Look, I'm holding the whistle from Spider-Man.
Honestly, it felt like at any time things could just fall apart and chaos would erupt. And that happened a few times, which was really, really interesting. It always felt like it was on the edge and that it get pushed over that edge at any given moment. And several times it did.
Yeah, me and Tracy, the drummer for Spider-Virus, had been friends since we were 12 years old and had played in various bands, and we just kind of, I guess it was the summer of 1992, decided we'd start a band, and that's what it became.
But they asked me to join in 95, I think, so that Jerry could kind of focus more on vocals and make the sound a little bit heavier.
They were really, really good. They still are. The three members of Spider-Virus being my brother, Jerry, and then Tracy and Eric. Eric and Tracy have both since passed away. Tracy died in 2009, and Eric actually just passed in July. I think August or July of this year. So there's only one original member left. They were recorded by Steve Albini, who was the same guy who did Nirvana's album.
Brandon will win!
I suck this evening, I'm sorry.
What's up, hot? Thanks everyone for coming out to the show, and make sure you stick around to We'll come back real soon, because we're going to see you again.
Dan Dyer.
Dan Tate, everything. It was very important to him to like document every single moment of everything. There were no cell phones with cameras or videos, so Dan constantly carried around a video camera. He was nice to everybody. He included everybody. And with Dan's bands, they were really, really into their music. So Dan was super into guitar and studying guitar playing. And I don't know, he loved bands like AC/DC, and then he loved a lot of Nashville bands, but he was really focused on being a good guitar player and would get really into it. So I think that was captured in the video.
He loved being in the music scene, and he loved more than anybody else and was like obsessed with that kind of heavy music, and that's all he wanted to do.
But he was very important. Dan Dyer was a wonderful guy, and it's just heartbreaking that his life ended so soon.
He was just very, very enthusiastic about music in general. Dan was every band's biggest fan. He was an absolute sweetheart of a guy. He sometimes overly enthusiastic, but he had just a great heart. He was a really good guy, and I miss him. He's been gone for a while now, but
he was Spider-Virus's biggest fan. He was FUCT's biggest fan. He was the biggest fan in that scene, and would just do anything he could he would record these bands. And he was obsessed with Spider-Virus and FUCT, and it was great. It was great.
Your dad's band and I, the El Diablo band, we played at like 6 o'clock on a Thursday at the Bummed Out Roxy.
I think that's when your dad started playing drums.
Were they any good?
I loved them. I thought they were amazing. They were all like these, I don't know, young, skinny punk rock boys playing loud music. Yeah, I thought they were fun.
We weren't thinking about what we were doing later on in our life. It was just about the moment. So yeah, I think it was a good place, especially at the time, because it was small enough. So like there was a lot of bands, but you kind of knew everybody, if that makes sense. So it was kind of like a perfect little thing.
But it was just a really big group of people who kind of supported each other, who looked out for each other. I don't know, I always felt safe with that group of people. They were a lot older than me, so I don't know, looking back, I still don't think I was in many unsafe situations when I was around them. I feel like being in a punk rock show, like, it cures everything, like every problem. You're able to be free and in the moment. You're able to be angry if you're angry and happy if you're happy, and just completely free of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest part, and you know, when I say the scene, it's almost a little bittersweet, because I still remember being at a party with my friends and just realizing that, you know, you just hit a point where, you know, you're getting older and you start to kind of grow up a little bit more too. You know, when we were younger, it was just like free-spirited, you know, no responsibilities, and as you get older and just like, how do you afford this rock and roll lifestyle, you know? It's true.
I think with some of us, it was just fun. With me, I kind of knew that it was, you know, just a phase. I started going to these shows when I was 16, 17 years old, and continued until I was about 22. And there was alcohol and other things that probably should not have been there, but I kind of looked at that as, you know, you're young and doing things that young people do that, you're young and dumb.
I think it starts out with just having fun, and then the issues that a person has kind of start coming to the surface, and that's when it can get out of control and like affect the mental illness or problems, and then even make them worse or create them even,
I could just see my friends starting to deteriorate a little bit also. And so that started to kind of put, it wasn't as much fun anymore, seeing your friends strung out and things like that. And so it made me at least want to try to distance myself from that a little bit, because I didn't want to, I could see how things turn quickly for some, and the scene was just kind of dissipating, and so were, the spirits of all these wonderful friends I knew, that just drugs and alcohol and became so rampant in that period also.
So I will carry those people with me forever, and those experiences. It feels like it was forever ago, but it also feels like it was not that long ago. I'm 41 now, but I still talk with some of those people pretty regularly. And it made a huge impact on who I am today. I still think that Spider-Verse is the coolest band ever. I'll always go see their shows whenever I have a chance. They're kind and they're smart.
Spider-Virus. So like we still play, we still practice. So, that was when I met those guys, and it's 27 years later or whatever. And, I still love the music, and I'm still friends with Jerry, and Hunt, and like, yeah, so that was just as much of an important part of my life as any,
I'm still really good friends with a lot of people. I shouldn't say a lot, but a good amount of the people that were around back then. I still talk to on a fairly regular basis, and that's one of the good things about doing the Spider-Virus shows once a year, once every 2 years, because I never was crazy about the people I went to high school with, but when we get together and do a show like that, it's almost like a high school reunion. No, it's great. We played about 2 months ago, and I ran into people I hadn't seen in 20 years, and you almost feel like you pick up right where you left off. Although they've aged and they got their life going on, and you've aged and you got your life going on. Forever. You'll never make friends like the friends you make when you're at that age.
It was some of the best times of my life. I mean, I still have, lifelong friends from that moment of my life. And I still, I can look back at photos and think back now, how much fun I was remembering how much fun I was having, and just also remembering how things could have gotten quickly out of hand also. So I feel very fortunate to have experienced Nashville during that during that time period.
Well, made me, I can't speak for everyone else, more open-minded. Back then, like I said, there wasn't many places kids could go, or even young adults could go, where punk rock music or, just being different in some people's eyes was accepted. The times that I had were, amazing.
Fucking stoked! Don't understand, man. Fucking all of Spider-Verse love me, man. They love you too, dude.